Every time we're taking water out of an aquarium, I want to be taking it out of the gravel because I'd much rather be removing all of the waste out of the gravel as opposed to the good, clean water off the top. So if we see all that dirt coming out, we really want to concentrate all the dirt out, and we really want to put nice clean water back in. This water quality, is there a little bit of nitrate in the water? There's no nitrite in the water. The pH is okay. It's slightly alkaline. Now, I'm definitely worried about the KH. The KH level was 0. Now, if your KH level is 0, that is going to impede various biological processes, and in the very long run, it is really not ideal, so I definitely want to correct that today. And our GH is literally off the chart. I got bored dropping to find out when the titration color changes. So what we're going to want with this tank is some nice big water changes, and we're going to want to not add any GH salts, and we definitely don't want to overdose water ager. If you go crazy with water ager and you put heaps of stuff like this in there, you put too much in, that can give you an elevated GH level. That's a very old container. We'll need some of that. We want that one.
What about the one up the top? Those all right.
Yeah, they're all nice and... Oh, there's an old St. George Aquariums one. Wow, that's an oldie.
I could sell that to Clary.
Good old St. George Aquariums. What a great shot. I really enjoy seeing things like this. This is an old Rena air pump, probably in excess of 40 years old. It's really fun seeing these old relics. Does it still work?
I think so.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
You recognise that? Look at that.
Yeah, he's a good looking fella, isn't he? Look at that guy. So that's a huge female jaguar cichlid. Yeah, what were you saying about where it came from?
Yeah. Place is called Majestic Aquariums.
Yeah, right. How long you had it?
Before the pandemic.
She's a beautiful fish. Is she very grumpy?
No. She comes up to the side over there and takes her food and then goes.
Here is giving the filter a clean. We're cleaning all of the media in the filter using water that we've taken out of the aquarium, and then we throw that dirty water away once we clean the media. And then we're also going to add some polyfilter, because polyfilter is pretty much one of my favorite products. It adsorbs and absorbs anything impure out of water, and then over a period of months it turns to black, and then you need to, when to replace it. This is a pretty cool idea. If you do have a big filter like this one, putting it on some wheels certainly can't hurt. So what we're doing now is just priming the filter. We're just making sure the filter's full of water, and then we'll run some water in here. A lot of aquariums are run off air stones, and over time air stones do sort of clog up. And this one is past its due because I literally can't blow in it anymore, because it'll either be the pump, which seems to be fine, the airline seems to be fine, or in this case it was the air stone that's stopping the air. I'm just going to redecorate the tank a bit. This is something that I highly recommend doing on a regular basis, both for the fish's benefit and yours. It's very common that when I leave an aquarium, it can look worse than when I got here. And that's because I disturb everything and pull up all the crap all through the back of the rocks and so forth. And the other thing that's always a little bit of a risk when I do this sort of work, when you're uprooting things that haven't been uprooted for a while, is the risk of hydrogen sulfide. So if you do get anoxic zones building up in the back of the reef and then you're discharging hydrogen sulfide, it can actually be poisonous for your fish and potentially even poisonous for you. But in this case, we've actually put polyfilter into the filter, and it has been my experience that whenever I have polyfilter in the filter, I don't experience any issues with hydrogen sulfide. So if in doubt, add polyfilter. So I've just added the air pump back into the aquarium, and it's really important that the air pump isn't anywhere near the inlet to the filter, because the air getting sucked into the filter can cause the filter a problem. So what we want now is some big, large fake plants. I want one in that gap there. It's like a big 2-footer, big fake plant there, maybe something small in the front here, then maybe a couple of sort of mediums here. And then that should finish this tank off and look really nice. Now that we're refilling the aquarium, it's cold water with just a little bit of warm in it. Just checking the temperature. Yeah, it feels pretty good. And then every 5 centimeters that we go up, we want to add a dose of water ager. But we don't want to go silly with it, because if we go adding too much water ager, we can artificially elevate our GH level. It doesn't really harm the fish too much, but I'd rather not do it. Now, all of these bacteria products are actually sort of good for your aquarium, but once you open them, they're sort of better off being kept in the fridge. So we can add this to the tank, but I'm not promising it'll really do anything, because if this is a very old bottle and it hasn't been kept in the fridge, then I would be skeptical to its value. And for future reference, any biological product best kept in the fridge. Yeah, that'll get us out of trouble. We've just got to raise the KH. I'll retest it and see how we go. Now, we've just done a big clean out of this tank, and there's lots of garbage that I've pulled out from behind the rocks. So we have to be very aware of this canister filter, because this canister is going to suck all the crap out. So when you do a major clean like I've just done, doing a follow-up clean and a follow-up filter check is a very good idea, because I've dislodged all of the stuff at the back, and you'll be surprised how quickly we can clog a filter when we do that. Now, what I'm looking for with a filter is very good surface agitation, because the water that comes out of a filter is often very low in oxygen, because the bacteria remove it. When I've disturbed up the back of the aquarium and I've put lots of sediment into the water, that's inevitably going to go in the filter. But if you do have a fine net, it doesn't hurt just to try and net some of it out. That'll all clear up pretty quickly. If there's such a thing as a must, if you have an aquarium, a Flipper Max is a must. It definitely makes cleaning so much easier. In between the time of when it's time to get another service, if you can try to pat out the particles and keep them in solution, because that way they're going to go up the filter. So if you look, there's very large amounts of debris that's been dislodged after such a decent spring clean. So fixing a situation like this is not a one-day job. It really is a case of doing a big cleanup, and a big cleanup like this can very much feel like one step backwards, but then after a few cleanups, then you'll be all good to go again. You get things like lids that get all this calciumy crap building all over them, then if you just go and soak them in some citric acid, you'll be able to clean these lids up and they'll look much more good as new. If you maybe just put a bit of citric acid in the bottom of the sink and then place the lids in the sink, and the citric acid should help to clean all that stuff up, make it look new again. So this is a little bit interesting. We've got a power head here and it's decided to go in reverse. It doesn't have a setting or anything for it, but it's clearly actually pumping backwards. Yeah, so the way these work is with very basic electrical currents. So it just must have started up the wrong way, like very interesting. But she's working a beauty now. Look at that go, pumping like crazy. So as we can see, from that much crap in the water, we just got to be aware that that filter is going to clog up again. It's a nice big one. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but that's a lot of crap to end up in your filter. So with a tank like this, really in the long run, we really want it serviced about once a month, especially as we get more fish. Just rechecked the KH and it's currently 8, so I'm very happy with that. So we're not going to need this product right now. I'd like to know that every single aquarium has got a thermometer. In this case, it's 26 degrees, which I'm very happy with. Heaters do have thermostats, but I do not trust a thermostat. I will always want a thermometer as a cross-reference. Well, if you're looking for something pretty exciting to put in this tank, you could think about putting, say, a pair of albino Oscars and maybe a pair of tiger Oscars and maybe a pair of red Oscars. Now, they'd have to be a decent size because this jaguar is going to be a bit of an issue. But if you have plenty of them, you'll find that they tend to be okay. And Oscars are just fabulous fish because they're just like a dog in a fish tank. If you put 6 of them in, they'd have to be sort of that size each. So not big, but on the bigger side. But they can't be anywhere near as big as this fella. Because if the jaguar sees them as a threat, then they certainly can fight. And it is something you're going to have to monitor over time. But Oscars are certainly a cool fish. Heaps of personality, heaps of colour. And I'd look at getting some Plecostomus catfish in here as well. Well, this tank is clearing up remarkably well. Considering the amount of sediment that was coating this gravel, it's really improved. And one of the secrets is the water flow. So we've got a beautiful big Aqua L pump there, and this tank's got great water flow in it. And the water flow really dislodges and cleans up all of the waste in the water. So this has got plenty to go, but as an improvement, that's remarkable. The fish are loving it. They're cruising around. Getting some extra fish in this tank would be absolutely awesome.